Dr. Brandon,
Dr. Morgentaler.
what a pleasure.
Oh, it's always my pleasure to find you here in my living room.
I couldn't imagine a better place to hang out.
I know. You've done really well with the place.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I thought we would talk about a little interaction we had around a tape I did for the podcast about different kinds of sex. And so I did this recently, and I was talking about, to make my point about the importance of people having a creative sex life, I use the term making love and also fucking.
Excuse me?
Yes. And that's kind of where this conversation went the last time we had it.
Yeah, what was that last word?
The word was fucking.
Okay, yeah.
And you said something about that not being professional, because I was complaining about how the fact that not all social media platforms will allow us to have conversations with that word.
Right.
And so we get sometimes even banned from these platforms.
Right.
Because of my foul language. But I feel that it's a really very appropriate use of the term. And it's an important use, not only appropriate, but it's important. It makes an important point. So I thought we would have a discussion here.
Great.
About this very important phenomenon of
Great.
fucking.
Love it. So, I don't know, call me old fashioned, traditional, but to my mind.
Well, I actually wouldn't call you either of those things, but okay.
Well, thank you. But to my mind, it's one thing to say the F word in private.
Private company, yes.
Yeah. And I've actually been known to use that word on occasion. Yeah. And when I was younger, it was like every other word in a sentence. But when I'm trying to preserve my very professional reputation,
yes.
It just strikes me as there's got to be some better term for it.
I don't know what that would be.
But maybe you can explain why you use it and what you meant by it, because I think that's really important.
Okay,
It's not that you're just using coarse language just because you're a coarse human being.
No, I don't consider myself a coarse human.
No, you're very refined, very elegant.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes.
So there's a reason you're using it.
Well, right. So the point of that podcast was to talk about the different kinds of sex people have and the importance of it. And so when I talk about lovemaking, you have a reaction. People know what that is.
Yeah.
People, they know it's sex from your heart, which is how I described it, but it brings a certain emotional reaction. You know what lovemaking is.
Yeah.
When you say sex, that's just a category that could mean anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not descriptive
in
any way.
In movies, which is where I get a lot of my sexual education, there's some tough guys who say things like, and this got to be a line from many movies. They say, I just want you to know, Dolly or whatever, I don't do lovemaking. They're tough.
They say that?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Well, if they're tough guys, they don't want to be caught up in this affectionate
that's so unfortunate.
thing. Well, yeah, but that's who these guys are, right?
See.
They're they're kind of ready to use the woman for sex, but they're never going to be like the soft puppy.
I see. Okay, so the point being that the word sex means what to you? I don't quite get where.
Well, so I'm listening to you, and it's really interesting, right? Okay, so sex. So what does sex mean?
So my take on the word sex. Sex is innate. People are born knowing how to have sex. That's not a skill.
No?
It's not a talent. That's just an innate knowing. Okay? But the talented part of sex is making love and fucking. And they're both very different things. So when I say fucking, that means something very intense, right? What is it? What does that word mean to you?
Yeah, it means raw sex,
right?
And probably without a whole lot of affection.
Yeah,
kindness.
It could be very connected, but it doesn't necessarily mean tenderness.
Right. There's no tenderness.
Yeah,
that's right. That's the good term that's missing.
And I think that word connected is an important part of the concept of fucking if you're going to do it as a skill.
Yeah.
You maintain a connection. But the point of the matter is, if all people do is have sex, they're probably bored out of their gourd.
Or lovemaking.
Well, no. That's a whole, no.
Oh, just sex.
Yeah.
I see. You're saying that the act itself, without that extra element that you're calling,
either lovemaking or fucking.
I see. That sex by itself, if that's all a couple's having,
They're pretty bored.
they're bored.
I'm telling you.
It's just the act.
Yeah. So,
Is lovemaking boring?
Not at all.
Not at all. What's different about lovemaking?
Well, it's very connected and emotional. Lovemaking is just that. It's a loving experience.
There's love.
An exchange of love. There's a visible, palpable exchange of love. Very engaging.
Yeah. And then you're using that F word descriptor.
I think you say it. People are gonna get the wrong idea of you with this little drama you have.
But I think you're using that F descriptor as something to indicate that there's a rawness to a certain kind of sex.
It's
right?
very engaging. It is very connected.
Yeah.
And it brings.
Well, I think it can be connected.
It can be.
It doesn't have to be.
Right. Okay.
Right.
But it brings a lot of potency to the experience.
Yeah.
And so I think this is important for people to recognize for a few reasons. So you see why I can't use the word sex. It means nothing to anybody. It's just this.
What about primal sex? What about
that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
vigorous sex?
No.
Acrobatic sex?
No. You got to use the word. You're just like making it more difficult than it has to be.
So is passionate sex lovemaking, or can it be?
I think it could be either. That could be either.
Effing.
That could be that. That could be either. But the thing about I guess the point is.
I have to break out. I'm going to just say the word fucking.
Honey, this is a fucking joke. Is what's happening right here.
Well, you use it like a sailor.
I'm a sex therapist.
There you are.
Okay, so anyway, let's get back to what's important.
Yeah.
That word is important. It's a descriptor. It's a kind of sex that people like to have. Now, people also like lovemaking. And everybody tends to like one more than the other, but nobody really likes sex. Do you get it?
Yeah, I do get it. I do get it. Yeah.
And so it's important for people to understand that to make their sex lives engaging, they need both. They need a little of the salt and a little of the pepper.
Yeah.
And if you're relying only on the salt or only on the pepper, that's not going to work either. If all you try to do is lovemaking, that's going to ultimately get boring.
Yeah. So I get it. I get it. So
wait.
Oh, okay.
And so if all you do is fucking, that's like going to be like, ultimately it's going to be distancing. You need a little of both. And the problem right now that I see that worries me is that for the most part, people take the fucking to porn or to sex tech. And the more people take fucking out of their relationship, that's a potent energy.
Yeah.
And if they're doing all that potent stuff with tech, people are going to be having, as they already are, less and less sex because that potent stuff is very engaging for people. It is very primal. It meets a certain need. And it's what people will often say, what they mean when they say they want sex to feel like it did at the beginning of a relationship, because that's a little more, there's something a little more fucking going on then.
Yeah.
It's like a little intense in the new partner thing and the mystery and the anxiety and the intensity. So people want to bring that back, but instead of bringing it back to their relationship, they take it to sex tech. And this is not a healthy solution. Like, take it to sex tech. I don't care, but make sure you bring some back to your relationship. But we've whitewashed sex so much in our culture that I don't think people even think it's an option to fuck. And I think that's a problem if people want a long-term relationship that's sexually engaging. They've got to have some fucking. They also have to have some lovemaking. I'll never get that point across if I just use the word sex. So now we have the problem with the social media platforms that won't let us even talk about this. And I think it's like it's a fucking public service to talk about it.
Go, girl.
I know,
you go, girl.
I know, because otherwise all the potent stuff is going to get shipped out of a relationship. And so that's what that whole That's what my video was all
Yeah.
about.
Listen, I think you're doing a real service by talking about this.
Yeah.
So here's what's important that I'm getting from you,
Okay.
right? Which I happen to agree with, is that sex is a primal urge. It is, right? And when things are going well, and especially when people start having sex together, that urge is like foremost, right?
Right.
They don't know each other well enough to do what we're calling lovemaking here with that tenderness, right?
Right.
It's almost the way that people get connected in relationships,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so it's basic and
Basic.
yeah, but not simple. Like it's base.
Correct.
Goes to the base,
Right.
right? The urges and the primal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what you're really saying that I think is critical for people to hear is that there's not only room for that in longer term relationships, but actually it's probably important to have it.
I'd say it's very important.
Very important.
And people feel uncomfortable making love and fucking because, believe it or not, they both are very vulnerable feeling.
Yeah.
So, if you don't really understand fucking, that doesn't sound vulnerable, but
Yeah.
fucking is very vulnerable. You're showing up with a lot of core emotion.
Yeah.
Like it's on your face or in whatever you're doing, you're expressing it. That's very vulnerable feeling, just like showing up with lovemaking is vulnerable feeling. So when people aren't willing to be vulnerable in bed, they wind up with sex and they're bored out of their board.
Yeah. And of course, the catch-22 here is that especially the younger guys who have been socialized to be checking in at every point in whatever they're doing, which may be appropriate for early
Right.
stuff, but that kind of checking in totally puts the kibosh on fucking.
At least in a long-term relationship. So I really agree with what you're saying that this concept of fucking can really go wrong if people don't know each other and
Right.
they don't have mutual trust and mutual respect and all of that. It can go really wrong.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about is in a long-term relationship,
Yeah.
how to keep things interesting over time. So in that context, fucking is like essential. And if you are, people, where do people get that? Generally, if they're not bringing it to their relationship, I have to say to you that so often in sex therapy, we're talking about how to fuck. Because it's just not what people think is even appropriate. They don't even think that that's an option for them. But what do they do instead? They go to strip clubs. They go on to porn.
Right.
They get their teledildonic vibrator or sex toy that connects to somebody across the country they don't even know. Look, I don't care. That's fine. But what about your long-term relationship?
Right.
Like that needs that same energy. That needs that intensity as well. So it's a really important word, fucking.
I'm so glad we had this conversation. And I hope you appreciate it as well. You won't hear this anywhere else.
No, that's true.
None of our competitors.
No, they're
I don't know if we have competitors,
That's what I used to say. I don't know who they are,
but none of them would make this distinction. This is high level
It is.
important stuff.
And so before we leave, can I just end with a couple ways to think
Please.
about lovemaking and fucking? Because people may understand the concepts, but not even know how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so lovemaking is really truly using your heart as your primary sex organ. So that means taking time before connecting with your partner to feel your love for your partner. It means feeling gratitude, feeling compassion, feeling all the ways they've added to your life and changed your life, like holding that in your heart, and then being responsible for communicating that in nonverbal ways, through your eyes, through your touch, and verbal ways, through your voice, through your words, but all that sort of communication of channeling that love to your partner. And we can do more in like sort of detailed ways of what lovemaking is, but that's the bottom line. And what's fucking? Fucking is having sex from your pelvis, from your genitals. It's like something more primal, something more animalistic.
Thrusting from the loins.
That's right. It's a lot more selfish, but that doesn't mean disconnected. But it is showing passion in your eyes as opposed to love. It's showing longing. Women kill for this. One of the more common interventions in my therapy room is helping men feel like they are allowed to, or it's appropriate to show lust, because we've kind of told men don't show. Like
Right.
what I tell guys to do is sexually harass your partner.
Right.
they get it. Women get
They have to do it the right way,
yeah,
right?
Don't just like
right?
grab a breast and think that's sexual harassment, but that's not received well. So that's a
Right.
good point.
Yeah, and or if you're out with some other people,
Right.
right? So there's a place for it. But
Good point.
yeah, so what I hear you saying is let that lustful part come through.
Yeah.
It's actually appreciated by the partner,
Correct.
right? It's a tremendous thing to feel desired in that way,
Right.
right? And it can go in both directions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So super important.
And preventing oneself from ever feeling it and expressing it is doing nobody any good.
Correct. Absolutely true.
Okay.
And couples will tend to say, people in general will say, I find lovemaking more comfortable. I find fucking more comfortable. Fair. But you got to have a little of both. That doesn't mean you have to have equal amounts of both, or that every time you have sex, you have to do one or the other. In fact, a whole lot of sex is really just sex, and that's fine. It's not that there's something wrong with that. But if that's all you have, then people are going to get bored.
Right.
So you need a little of this, a little of that.
Well, Dr. Brandon, I'm so happy we clarified this. That ends another episode of The Sex Doctors. And
Subscribe, please.
subscribe,
Join
review,
our family. Join our happy
give
family.
us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And if you like this kind of content, which again you're not going to get from our competitors, follow us. And we'll see you back for another episode of
The Sex Doctors.